I get it when you're scrolling through endless golf gear listings, the photos make everything look slick, but the moment you set it up at home, it feels like you've bought a paperweight. I've seen enough friends wrestle with launch monitors that promise pro-level data and then spend more time calibrating than actually swinging. That hesitation is real, and it's why this review is all about helping you avoid that disappointment before you spend a big chunk of money. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Garmin Approach R50 Premium Bundle tries to be the answer to that frustration by bundling a launch monitor, a simulator experience, and an extended protection plan into one package. I spent a weekend setting it up in a spare room, running a few practice rounds, and comparing notes with a couple of club fitters I know. Below is what I learned about how it actually fits into everyday practice, who will get the most out of it, and where the compromises hide. First off, the hardware is surprisingly unobtrusive. The R50 itself sits about a foot tall, and the sensor array sits under a short mat that you place on any flat surface. That means you don't need a dedicated swing bay or a garage-size room, a modest living room corner works fine. The initial setup took about 10 minutes. Plug the power brick, connect the included Wi-Fi dongle to your home network, and download the Garmin Golf app on your phone or tablet. The app walks you through a quick calibration that asks you to hit a few warm-up shots so it can learn the height of your ceiling and the distance to the wall. Once that's done, you're ready to swing. What makes this bundle stand out is the integration of a full-featured simulator mode. After you've hit a ball, the screen shows a 3D recreation of the flight path, and you can instantly switch to a virtual version of St. Andrews or a local course you've uploaded. I tried a 7-iron on a par 3 and watched the ball arc over a digital water hazard, then clicked play again with a slightly different club face angle. The visual feedback is more than a novelty, it gave me a tangible sense of how a small change in swing path altered my trajectory. For a golfer who can't get to the range every weekend, that virtual round feels like a decent substitute for a real-world practice session. The data side of things is where the premium claim gets tested. Garmin advertises ball speed, launch angle, spin rate, club path, and even face angle. In practice, the numbers feel consistent enough that you can spot trends. Over a 10-shot session, my ball speed varied by about 2 miles per hour, which aligned with what I felt in my hands. The launch angle readout helped me see why a particular shot kept landing short of the green. My launch was 3 degrees lower than the norm for that club. The simulator also records a short video of each impact, so you can replay the moment and compare it side by side with a perfect swing clip that the app provides. That visual cue is useful for golfers who aren't comfortable interpreting raw numbers alone. Now, the strengths are clear: easy installation, decent visual simulation, and a data set that is solid enough for most amateur to low handicap players who want to fine-tune their swing. The included Deco Essentials 26-month protection plan adds peace of mind if you're worried about accidental damage, something that's surprisingly common when you're trying to fit a monitor into a cramped space. But there are hidden trade-offs that matter. First, the R50 relies heavily on the companion app for almost every function. If your Wi-Fi is spotty, you'll notice lag between swing and data display. In my testing, a weak router caused a half-second delay that made the on-screen flight path feel disjointed. Second, while the simulator offers a handful of popular courses, the library isn't as deep as some dedicated simulation platforms that cost several $100s more. If you're looking for a full-season PGA Tour schedule, you'll be limited. Third, the sensor's field of view is calibrated for a standard driver swing. Hitting a lob wedge with a high, soft trajectory sometimes resulted in the ball leaving the mat too early, which threw off the spin reading. For players who rely heavily on short game practice, you'll need to be aware of that limitation. Who should buy the Garmin Approach R50 bundle? If you're an intermediate golfer who spends a few hours a week on the range but wants to squeeze in practice when the weather turns bad, this is a sensible middle ground. The portability means you can move it from a basement to a patio without rewiring, and the data is accurate enough to let you track improvements over months. Club fitters also find value in the detailed swing metrics when they're working with a client remotely. Sending a video clip with the stats attached can replace a face-to-face session for basic adjustments. Who should skip it? If you're a low handicap or touring player who demands sub-1 mile accuracy on spin rate and launch angle, you'll likely find